of Three Rivers here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And it's time for a top 25 matchup between number 24 TCU and the defending national champions, number 5 Penn State. Trying to bounce back here, and their schedule is loaded. This is the 4th straight ranked opponent they have faced. Right away they go outside, and Selman gets it to drop. Emmy Selman, the 6'4 sophomore transfer from Ohio State. Elise Woodward with Anna Connolly. We're glad to have you with us for this showdown. It has a Sweet 16 feel here in Pittsburgh. So much talent on the floor. And that point going to TCU, taking a rip, was Becca Kelly.
You're going to see a lot from Becca Kelly today. Now, I was just catching up with Jason Williams. You're going to see Lauren Murphy, like we just talked about, go up against Kennedy Martin in some rotations, but Becca Kelly is the one that they're really matching up against Martin on that left side pin for TCU.
Kennedy Martin wide, so that'll be a point for TCU. The Horned Frogs led by Jason Williams in his 4th year. He led TCU to a 2nd round trip of the NCAA tournament 3 years in a row, trying to bust through this year and make a significant run. And they started the season ranked in the top 25 for the first time ever and moved up to number 24 with the rankings just released a short time ago. One out of bounds, so the hitting error will give it back to Penn State. And leading the Nittany Lions, now 5th ranked, Katie Schumacher-Cawley in her 4th year. National championship last year, an amazing accomplishment. She also won one as a player at Penn State back in 1999. Penn State legend. And TCU coming out, hitting in the middle of that defense. It was Alexis Robertson hitting the floor. Stark. Set sailed on her a bit, but they get it right back. And now Selman in system puts it down.
A little bit of miscommunication from TCU. Becca Kelly sends over the free ball, and Penn State capitalizes. Look at that, gets a one-on-one blocking situation. Izzy Stark sets up Emmy Selman.
Here's Kennedy Martin, an excellent server. One of the best hitters in college volleyball. She lays out to keep that one alive. Big block set up by Kelly and Robertson. Out of the middle, Jordan Hopp, couple of chances, can't kill it. And now the block is used as he Stark off of her last, and so TCU will take the advantage.
Yeah, so on this one, Evan Hendricks, who goes up right there, she's 5'9", and that's a roster 5'9" against a 6'1" Izzy Stark. Evan Hendricks is super crafty and able to get things going for TCU.
And the service ace drops in there. So TCU coming out hot. This is Alice Volpe, the 5'6" sophomore libero. And another one, back-to-back ace of Texans representing TCU on this volleyball squad. Jason Williams, one of them, the head coach. Out to Hendricks, and she tools the block again, and TCU 7-3 advantage over Penn State.
I love this. Evan Hendricks, a little bit of a weird angle coming from that back row, but she's able to still keep a second step approach on the ball.
On the slide. Nice up from Gibson. And then the hammer goes down. Jillian Grimes can't handle the heat in the back row. Some velocity coming off the swing of Murphy.
Now TCU running a 6-2 with Rosemary Archer and then Ella Foti, who will sub in. Jason Williams goes setters for middles, subbing in, which speaks to his confidence in his team's ability to ball control defensively.
And that one wide, trying to feed Kennedy Martin out of the back. Losses, but against very good competition yesterday, both top 25 foes. And out of the timeout, Penn State able to side out. Let's send it over to Michelle.
Yeah, guys, no sense of panic in the Penn State huddle there. I was curious, though, what the conversation was in the Penn State locker room last night after that tough loss to Arizona State. Katie Schumacher telling me that, all right, told her team, we got that one out of the way, let's flush it and move on. She reminded me this is a new group. They're still trying to find their way with big targets on their backs, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. It's true. This team last year obviously won the national championship and was 35-2. They are not used to losing, and it can shake you. It can rattle you a little bit. We'll see how they respond here after falling behind in set one. And another big-time swing for TCU.
I mean, Evan Hendricks coming out firing on an out-of-system play. Fabulous job getting on top of the ball and then just leaning into that 5-5 set going inside.
You mentioned it, she is just 5'9", but she can hang. Talking to Jillian Grimes. Outside to Murphy. Whoo, that was packing some heat. Murphy coming off a 10-kill game in her first with TCU.
Lauren Murphy was so consistent yesterday despite the loss against Pitt. She's got that big arm, 6'4" frame.
Here's Hendricks. That one looked like it was going to be long, but instead Selman plays it. Now TCU with a chance on the overpass. Out of the back, Hendricks. Now Jaravicius, no touch. And the hitting error gives it back to TCU. So TCU hitting .429 to start this match. Penn State, 3 kills, 3 errors. They are hitting 0. Some good swings in system from the Horned Frogs. Hendricks puts that one into the net. And a chance for one of the best in the nation, Izzy Stark, the ABCA National Freshman of the Year, to make a run at the service line. And she gets the ace.
The Penn State feels as if yesterday's loss, it's fine. ASU comes out today, new rankings. They are a top 10 teams. And the sentiment from all 4 coaches participating in this showcase are, hey, you got to play top 10 teams in order to beat top 10 teams, especially teams like Penn State, teams like Pitt that have made it far in the tournament in the last couple of years. Their sentiment is, hey, once you get to the Sweet 16, everybody is good. So that's why non-conference matchups are so useful, because you can schedule tough opponents.
Murphy with the ace. Ball pass right to us over here, which is not the intended target. You would have made a play on it though, Anna. You would have dug that up.
My old age, I'm with her.
Martin has to go off speed to avoid the block, and now Hendricks gets it sent back. Gibson with some heat in the overpass, and that is played perfectly. It's Sarah Sylvester in the front, the 6'3" middle, just waiting to hammer this one.
Jalen Gibson is so dynamic on that right side, but Sarah Sylvester being physical, protecting that side of the net. That is, she makes it look easy, but let me tell you, that is one of the hardest plays in this sport.
Well, Sylvester currently #1 in TCU history with 1.21 blocks per set. And a big presence up at the net. Nice up from Stark. Selman nearly a kill on the out-of-system ball. It was Volpe that had to dive. The hitting error will give it to TCU anyway.
What an up from Volpe. Now, just before first serve, Jason Williams and I were chatting about Alice Volpe and how consistent she is defensively. She's scrappy, but serve receive, she is so technically sound. Fabulous libero for TCU.
Outside to Selman. Volpe there. Out of the middle from the back. effective. Evan Hendricks has been alive in this one. 4 kills now on 6 swings, no errors. For the little, she's 5'9", but can fly. The sophomore out of Scottsdale, Arizona has been hot early. Volpe with a great up on the Selman swing. Kelly takes a rip at it. TCU right now is dominating in every aspect of this one.
Becca Kelly, I mean, she's got a big block, 6'6". Kennedy Martin on that right side. You got a 6'5" Maggie Mendelson playing up too. Wow, Becca Kelly.
10 kills, 1 error for TCU, while Penn State hitting in the negative. That'll help. Kennedy Martin, one of the most effective hitters in college volleyball. Let's rip.
I mean, how do you defend this? Great get from Jillian Grimes, and then Izzy Stark knows, hey, I'm going to go to Kennedy Martin. She is the go-to attacker on that right side pin, out of system, what have you. Again, 6'6". She's tall. She's got a big reach, and she's able to put balls away when Penn State needs it.
Service error from Jillian Grimes gives it back to TCU, and they build a 10-point lead here in set 1. It has been all Horned Frogs. They're hitting .450, and the Nittany Lions hitting 0. And now the reception error. This Penn State team right now does not look in rhythm, and TCU is taking advantage.
TCU with a consistent serve. If you win the serve and pass game in this sport, you're going to find success.
With a sub into the game for Penn State, that's Alexis Ewing, number 27 in blue. And then the communication breakdown at the net. Let's send it over to Michelle.
Yeah, guys, the TCU creating a lot of pressure at the serve and pass line. Jason Williams had a great conversation with him before this. He said, we kept things tight with Pitt because we were attacking their libero at the service line, an unconventional strategy that Anna could dive into. Obviously, they got to shut down Martin here, but keep a lookout for that. This serve and pass battle on the side of TCU.
Couple of jousts won by Penn State. This is a big-time hole to try to crawl out of in set 1. Little by little, they have to try to make this respectable, if nothing else. Give some confidence to head into set 2. Hendricks tips. Now out to Ewing. Volpe keeps it alive, and now Hendricks gets it blocked down. The roof by the defense of Penn State.
And we got to see a good, purposeful, consistent serve from TCU rattle off some points. Now you got Kennedy Martin back at the service line. She's got that purposeful serve. Again, you're not just trying to get aces on service. You're trying to force the team out of system just like this.
Martin lays out, able to keep it up. And now a pretty job. That's smart. Jordan Hopp just pushes that one to the deck.
Forcing a team out of system with your serve means we grade passes on a 3-point scale. 3 meaning you have all 3 options front row. So what we just saw Kennedy Martin pass, and we'll see this play develop, she has a consistent serve and then forces the other team to pass a 1 ball. So then whoever's blocking knows where the ball is going to be set, most likely on the outside. So then it creates a 2-on-1 matchup on your team that you're serving at.
So a 3-0 scoring run broken on the service error. And TCU can smell a set 1 win. Martin, though, so tough out of the back. Kennedy Martin, a 6'6" junior from Fort Mill, South Carolina, the transfer from Florida, 2-time All-American for the Gators in her first season with Penn State. And she has been dominant, coming off a performance of 23 kills, hitting .312 in the match yesterday. Here she is, giving it a go. And that one will trickle over the net and find the floor.
This is going to be interesting to see how TCU deals with with Kennedy Martin in the back row. Now she's 6'6". That's basically a front row attack, though. You have to treat it like a front row attack. So defenders have to be in their proper defense, and blockers have to still stay at the net.
Block gets a touch. Now on the slide, it was Hop. TCU with a chance, and that was also a tip. Martin lets it rip, and again uses that block.
And you see,
and for TCU, they took a loss to Pittsburgh, but were competitive, so they move up from 25 to 24 in the rankings released today. Big block set up, and it will score. Jaravicius back on the floor, up at the net, making a play for the Nittany Lions. Send it over to Michelle.
Yeah, a little run here for Penn State. Jason Williams did not strike me as concerned in the TCU huddle. He said 3 things to his team. Make them earn their points, number 1. Number 2, focus on the pass. And number 3, keep working to get Penn State out of system. That's where we're dangerous, guys.
Thanks, Michelle. Long set all the way over to Jaravicius, and she comes up big. A couple of big plays for Jaravicius in this rotation.
To Michelle's point, these are 2 physical blocking teams up at the net. But a part of that is you have to be disciplined on that block if you're TCU playing against a team like Penn State.
Hendricks get it sent back. She'll give it another go. Jaravicius digs it, now gets it back. And tools the block for the point. Penn State on a 6-0 run, and they are within 4. Dug up by Selman Stark. Oh, good effort, but touching that antenna. This was a 12-point TCU lead at one point, 21-9, and since then, Penn State has come alive.
Penn State starting with a little bit of a shaky passing effort, but finally getting back into that Penn State rhythm.
On the ace, the 5th ace here in the first set. Michelle, you mentioned it, the serving pressure applied has been incredible.
It's almost like TCU heard me say that Penn State had just gotten back into their passing rhythm. Ella Foti, one of the most consistent servers.
So set point number 1 for TCU. This would give TCU a ton of confidence. Martin to Jaravicius. And it goes to TCU, set number 1. The 24 first ones. And that is the theme for TCU this season, have the dragon mentality. Or don't be like butterflies and be pretty and float around. They want dragons breathing fire. And they certainly did that in set 1. And they are off to a good start. Point number 1 in this set going to the Horned Frogs. Those are sweet.
Those are nice.
I asked if he had any in my size. He just told me to walk away.
Remind me if I ever become a coach, I'm going to go coach at TCU. Cool gear, man.
Rocking the purple kicks. And his team is rocking it right now. You see the bounce back ability for Penn State. They drop set number 1. And a big rip there from Kennedy Martin.
Kennedy Martin painting the line. Look at Izzy Stark, that's so hard. Her momentum is moving towards that left side pin, and she's able to just be in such control of her body to still set an in-tempo set to Kennedy Martin.
Martin's got 5 kills now. Big block set up from Penn State. Good defense from TCU to keep it alive. That's also good defense, but just trailing off of the hand of Grimes. Let's send it over to Michelle.
Yeah, we heard from TCU a moment ago, and on the Penn State side, I was nosing in on their huddle. Very player-led and inspired huddle, about 8 players weighing in. Izzy Stark being the main leader there, saying, guys, we're winning that set if we don't dig ourselves into a 10-point hole. It's that simple. Izzy Stark looking to be in a leadership role here, and that's not going to help a big TCU block on Emmy Selman struggling to open up the pin, guys.
Michelle, I think Izzy is exactly right. We saw this when TCU took on Pitt yesterday. That 6-2 subbing setters for middles is a little confusing. You have the libero going in for the right side at times. It's a little confusing to identify playing against, but Penn State halfway through that set 1 and carrying into set 2, they've identified it and they know what to expect specifically from a defensive blocking standpoint.
And now Kennedy Martin with her 6th kill over the top of the block. She is back to serve. Hendricks goes tip. And a point for Penn State on the double contact. Kennedy Martin led the nation in points per set last year. First team All-American. Oh, and a nice job by Selman to reach over and send that one back. Not much that Kelly could do.
It starts with a great serve. Kennedy Martin being disciplined and purposeful. Again, not just getting the ball over the net, not even trying to get an ace. We love aces, but she's going back at the service line, trying to force TCU out of system, or at least hit that area 1 targeting number 5 for TCU, so then they know that it's going to go to Becca Kelly.
Hendricks rises and fires right in front of Martin. Penn State had just built their first lead since 1-0 in set number 1, but it's quickly back to tied up.
And it's great decision-making by Rosemary Archer. She says, hey, I know you guys think that I'm going to hit Becca Kelly on that right side. I'm going to go with Evan Hendricks to switch things up. And now TCU gets back on that service run. They have their libero, who's the best server on the team as the libero, best server and passer, doing the same thing, forcing Penn State out of system with purposeful serves.
The joust won by Alexis Robertson. Now on the slide, that's as pretty of a swing as we have seen today. That was really well done by Jordan Hopp.
I mean, wow, would you like to be on the other side of this one? Great connection from Izzy Stark, great tempo. Jordan Hopp launching off of that right foot for the slide and being absolutely explosive.
Hendricks has to just put it over with 2 hands. Here's Ewing, and it's blocked back. TCU, big at the net. Robertson saying bye-bye to that ball.
I love it. I love it from Alexis Ewing. She gets in the game. She's a freshman. She's going big swing, but TCU's big block with Alexis Robertson, 6'3" middle blocker, showing her how it's done at this level.
Out of the back, Martin, too much. That one is long, and so the hitting.
She is the most likable person, and then she gets out on the court, and she's an absolute animal.
Through in system, out of the middle, Sarah Sylvester with a big swing.
Great decision-making from Ella Foti. This is Ella Foti's first year as a setter. She was a right side attacker at Marquette the last 4 seasons. What a decision on that first ball to get the first ball side out to incorporate Sarah Sylvester.
And the ace. Add another to the total. 6 aces for the Horned Frogs, just 1 for Penn State, and that is why TCU won set 1. It has a lead in set 2.
When you play this system, the 6-2 setter subbing in for middles, you have to be confident in your ball control abilities and your ability to control the first touch. And TCU is doing a great job at that with their serve receive and their service. Now, likewise, Penn State, though, with Kennedy Martin, she can take on that big load. She can take on over 40 swings a set or a match, and she's able to execute.
Martin banging it off the block for another kill. She's got 8 now, going soft. Getting it in the middle of the Penn State defense is Sylvester again.
It's just back and forth, back and forth. Ella Foti setting the hot hand. Great decision making from Sarah Sylvester. Notices the donut middle of the court is wide open.
Murphy looking for that back corner. Instead, it sails on her for the error. So Alexis Ewing getting ready to sub up. Number 27 in blue, the daughter of Patrick Ewing, the NBA Hall of Famer. Getting her first action for Penn State, a true freshman out of Maryland. Good size at 6'4". I really feel good about her. Kelly nearly hits the 10-foot line on that swing. Played against her sister yesterday. Bree Kelly. No big block set up by her sister today. And she rips that one.
Look at that tempo. Oh my gosh, you can't get under that one. I love that, coming in and running that quick, what we call a 31 or gap or flare.
Martin uses the block again. So Penn State within 1, and Martin up to 9 kills. She's hitting .375 so far in this match. Jordan Hopp is hitting .429, but Penn State looking for some support. Start to Selman. Block gets a touch for the Horned Frogs. Now Gibson, no touch, out of bounds. No, yes, they do say touch. Penn State says on the court, Selman telling her coach, hey, Coach Schumacher-Colley, I didn't touch it. So we're going to go challenge this one. Remember, if you win your challenge, you get it back. Yeah, I don't think there was any touch here. Right in front of us, I didn't see Selman.
It was close. And Jillian Grimes, if there was, she was in a great position to play that ball. If there was a touch, she has that experience. She sees the game a little bit slower than the rest of us.
In a good way.
In a good way, yeah. I mean, that's a compliment. Who was it? Spun. Jalen Gibson kind of adding some heat on that ball.
So this is the second challenge by Katie Schumacher-Colley that is overturned and goes the way of the Nittany Lions. So the good work by her and by her team in saying, hey, I didn't touch that. It's a very tough angle for her to see that, but her players have to be honest. Oh, that's how you do it. Out of the middle, and Robertson hammers it.
We saw TCU come back on now 2 call reversals, incorporate the middle on big-time momentum plays. Anytime you get a big block or you get a big middle attack kill like that, you can get some momentum, and then TCU has proven back at the service line, that's how they've kept a little bit of a lead and taken that first set, is they're able to execute and keep that momentum up.
Jalen Gibson with the ace, number 7 for TCU, make it number 8. They are absolutely ripping it on their serves, and they are hitting it. Back-to-back aces.
That's a triple F. It's fast, it's flat, and it floats. And especially in an airy arena like this, that ball is able to drop. If you get the right pop, it just completely drops.
Smart play by Kelly. Just pushing it over. The block pops up to her, and she is ready.
And we're going to give that point to Jalen Gibson back at the service line, because that's a great example of it wasn't an ace, but it was purposeful to a specific area of the court, so then her blockers were able to execute.
Out of the back, Ewing pushes that one. Just the second set. TCU winning set number 1. And leading here, Penn State in a big hole they're going to have to crawl out of. And Hendricks cupping that one right to the middle of the defense, Michelle.
Yeah, guys, looking at this ball from a passer's perspective, the way TCU is serving right now, both serves that are really challenging for these littles to read. Watch it here. It tails off at the last second, jams up Juice, so she's forced to pop that one up. Emmy Selman gets them out of a bad situation there, but these serves are gnarly from the baseline.
Yeah, you have a different perspective. We're sitting here right at the net, and we can't see it moving. You have the baseline view where it's tailing on the replays.
Michelle has the scouting view. That's my favorite view, that end zone from behind the players, because you can see things like that. You can see the movement on the ball.
Hendricks takes a big hack and gets it off the block for another kill. TCU is absolutely rolling.
I am so impressed by Evan Hendricks' play. Now, last week when they were scrimmaging SMU, all of the coaching staff for TCU said she was such a pleasant surprise. She hit 328 in that scrimmage, but passed for 2.5. Remember that passing scale we were talking about, that 3-point scale? Anything over 2.3 is so good. Now remember, Evan Hendricks, as she goes up and gets blocked, she's 5'9", so TCU is able to incorporate her with some fast tempo and then creating one-on-one matchups.
The big block there, Hendricks can't get it through Jordan Hop. You can feel the frustration for Penn State right now. The celebration is one of anger after the block. Nice dig by Martin. Now Ewing will go. Dug up by Volpe. Hendricks again uses the block. No. That one is wide, and it will be Penn State down by 4 at the service line. This is Ava Falduto, the 5'7" sophomore DS. Tough set there and trying to make something out of nothing, and instead that goes wide, and so TCU has it. Penn State had a chance to punish there, and instead it winds up being a Horned Frog point.
That's where matches like this after a big upset yesterday. And again, the Penn State coaching staff doesn't even feel like that truly is an upset. The rankings came out today. Arizona State within that top 10. So Arizona State, a good volleyball program. Penn State felt it, but coming back today, you gotta lock in, right? You have to take care of the first ball.
The 9th ace of the match, just clipping that line. I mean, that is as close as you get. Ella Foti painting it. And a good up there. Gibson just sticking her paw out there and then just crushing it. It is all TCU, a 7-point lead.
Creating a one-dimensional offense right now for Penn State, and they cannot get out of this funk.
Another errant pass out of the back off the serve. Foti hits Gibson coming from the back. Grimes able to dig that one cleanly. Ewing with the big rip. No touch. And so TCU on a hitting error gets another point.
And everything Michelle was just talking about, you can see play out in that last rally. Penn State doesn't get a good pass, so then TCU gets a really great opportunity to run a free ball play on a really fast in-tempo system.
Out of the back, it's Martin. Started with a good pass.
Exactly. You start with a good pass. You have Kennedy Martin back row, running a back row big. So that middle attack out of the back row, we refer to a pipe, which is a little bit slower, and then a really up-tempo attack. So you have a 3-step approach in this sport. You're already halfway through that approach when the setter is setting it. Kennedy Martin and Izzy start really connecting well.
Trying to be aggressive for Penn State, but it's the service error. And Kennedy Martin now with 10 kills for the Nittany Lions. 57 straight matches. Every one of her career, she's been in double figures.
It's unbelievable.
It really is. Here she is again. And a nice up from the libero, Volpe. And it ends up in another Hendricks kill. She is on fire.
Again, it's that BIC, that back row, second step, fast tempo set. It was a perfect dig from Volpe, who's just playing lights out between yesterday and today, but Evan Hendricks able to execute.
Gibson tips it. Martin on the overpass, and TCU right there to gobble it up, and they are now at set point. They took set one, and they need just one more point to go up 2-0 over the defending national champs. Katie Schumacher-Colley going to her bench. Gabrielle Nichols on the floor, so is Ewing, and that's her first career kill, and that was a pretty one. Woo! The 6'4" Ewing got up.
Pretty good first career kill. Wow, the potential for Ewing.
Free ball for Penn State. Blocked back. They say it hit the antenna, though.
And last week at the ABCA Showcase, they were in the 80 percentile.
Kelly gets it blocked back. Kennedy Martin there at the net to give Penn State the first point of set three. And remember, we saw last year the reverse sweep versus Nebraska in the Final Four by Penn State. It was one of the most incredible comebacks in any sport. So Penn State believes they've done it recently. Great swing for TCU. They have just been taking rips out of it and have been connecting.
And I think that's what Jason Williams told Michelle before we came back for set three. We're just running a really fast tempo, and it's throwing Penn State off, and that is spot on. TCU's offensive tempo is fast.
Settled here. Now to Selman, and she's able to celebrate after the good swing and finds the hardwood.
Emmy Selman came out of the locker room fired up, going up to every other starter on the court, giving them a high five, saying, hey, let's go. I love the leadership from the sophomore.
A transfer from Ohio State. Just a sophomore, as TCU has the answer. Alexis Robertson, 6'3" middle out of Missouri City, Texas.
That's the thing about Penn State's squad. Ava Faldudo, sophomore. Jillian Grimes is a senior. Jordan Hopp is a grad student. Caroline Juravicius, though, redshirt sophomore. Emmy Selman, sophomore. Izzy Stark, sophomore. So a young team, but they know how to get through big moments. They know how to be resilient.
You can sense that there's a sense of urgency from Penn State that they didn't have in the first two sets. Backs up against the wall here, down 0-2. Hitting the line with some ferocity.
Okay, Becca Kelly. Both of these benches, so much fun. I want to be on the bench. They're just having a blast. Great pass from Volpe. And then, wow, Becca Kelly painting that right side, or that left pin's blocking.
Out of the back, Gibson hitting it hard. It's the fourth kill for Jalen Gibson. She's also got 3 aces for the Horned Frogs. Martin, no stopping that. That has been the one player who has consistently been able to get kills and terminate for Penn State.
You can't really defend that. I mean, she at 6'6", she's got such a high angle. Right back would have to really come up out of position to dig that ball.
Grimes with the bump set. And that one sails off the swing of Juravicius. So TCU leading 5-4. So Penn State coming out of the locker room fired up, but TCU remains steady. Good rip. Martin couldn't handle it. Murphy with the kill.
I love how physical Lauren Murphy plays. 6'4". Again, a strong angle coming down on top of the ball.
Lauren Murphy, teammates with Emmy Selman at Ohio State, both transferring out. Gets it blocked up, and the setter involved in that one, Izzy Stark, at 6'1", pushing over.
I like that with Izzy Stark. Look at really disciplined blocking, pressing over the net, and then Jordan Hawk coming over and closing the block last second. That's how you defend against a crafty player like Evan Hendricks.
So the service error for Penn State certainly will be something that they need to clean up as this match goes on. Yesterday they had 7 and having absolutely no fun on the bench. Good job keeping that one up. Oh no, oh no, that's Jalen Gibson going up to the locker room and sending all our best to Jalen, making sure she feels the vibes. Her team is going to try to rally now, and they get the first point after an emotional moment where their leader went down and had to be helped off. TCU has built a 2-0 set advantage and a 3-point lead here in set 3. Service error will give it to Penn State. Penn State, you can feel how much stress they are under. They have really taken some serves that look like they're going to be out of bounds. That one they let go.
And TCU has done that by staying strong on that service line. You have fabulous passers with Ava Falduto and Jillian Grimes back in that back row. We saw Ava Falduto get aced a couple times, and that's not like her. So Penn State needs to handle TCU's aggression back at the service line.
Kennedy Martin pushing that one down, really smart, just finding the spot that was available. Didn't have her typical velocity, but just as effective. And now the ace. Penn State on a run to tie things up at 9. Oh, pretty swing, hitting the back corner. Samara Coleman, 6'1" freshman.
She comes in for Jalen Gibson. Now, she is a freshman, so she doesn't have that experience that we saw in Gibson, but Samara has a heavy arm. Dare I say, the heaviest arm on this team, does a lot of damage. It's going to be really exciting to see her get some experience today against the reigning national champs. Martin
takes a hack at it. Net violation will give it to Penn State. So here's Emmy Selman, the sophomore out of Burtonsville, Maryland, with a pretty serve, putting pressure on TCU. So the ace doubling up the aces. They've got 2 now.
This is how Penn State gets back in this match. Take care of the first ball, whether it be a pass or whether it be a serve.
Out of the back. Hendricks floats it, and enough that Penn State can handle it. Kelly Block set for the Penn State Nittany Lions. She'll go again, this time with her left hand. Track down, Juravicius will send it over on the free ball right here for Kelly. Oh, that was nasty. Protect yourself from Kelly's swing.
Watch the Penn State blockers. This was so fast from Rosemary Archer. Boom, hold, no shot. One-on-one matchup against a 6'6" Martin. That's exactly why Jason Williams messed with his lineup today, to make sure that Becca Kelly was going one-on-one against Kennedy Martin.
Vicious forced to tip, gets it over the block, but TCU with a chance at the lead, and Kelly hitting that with some ferocity.
Becca Kelly stepping up big. Look at this angle. That is so hard. That's an undefendable ball.
Look
wow,
at how
Becca
fired
Kelly.
up she is.
She is
love
a
that
firecracker. I mean, when you talk to her, she is so much spunk and personality.
Juravicius gets it blocked. Set up there is Robertson. That will send that one down on the roof.
Look at the discipline in that block. Evan Hendricks, 5'9". Did we mention she's 5'9", going up against a Caroline Juravicius that's 6'2". TCU getting it done back at the service line for the freshman.
Samara Coleman, join the party. Why not? Samara coming on and joining the ace department, 11 of them for TCU. This is how you generate an upset. And they have done that at the service line, Michelle.
Yeah, guys, Samara Coleman was on the radar of a lot of high-profile schools, including Pitt. She actually moved to Pittsburgh, was ready to start, and then decommitted, and it ended up going to TCU. So keep a lookout for Coleman. Obviously, very unfortunate circumstance here. The team, though, is clearly rallying around their teammate, Jalen Gibson, out for now.
Thank you, Michelle. As the big block set up by the Nittany Lions, Juravicius up at the net along with Hop to send it back. So the spark plug, Jillian Grimes at the service line to the Nittany Lions. Nice dig by the libero Volpe. Bump set. Kelly looking to go again. Net violation against Penn State.
We'll continue to command the pass game, guys.
I think that's a great point, Michelle, because Samara Coleman comes in. She has a heavy arm. I'm honestly not too concerned about TCU offensively subbing in for Gibson, but Gibson is probably one of their stronger passers on this team, specifically serve receive. Penn State's been targeting her all match, so that's going to be something that TCU needs to contain.
Hendricks puts pressure on Penn State. They're able to recover, though. Now Stark, the libero, goes to get it. So he's set by Grimes. Hendricks rising. No tip, and the Nittany Lions have it. Sounds like you're doing some work over there, Michelle, huh?
Almost got my first career block here, guys. Failed effort and scene. Should have thrown the mic in there anyways. By the way, this Kennedy Martin serve, it's basically like Anna was talking about the back row attacks. It's basically fending off a front row attacker. On contact, that ball is basically crossing the net and trajectory down towards the passers. Really tough ball to pass.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. You got to watch out over there. Head on a swivel. I got faith in the former libero from Michigan. You got it, girl.
Hey, I have other gifts.
Blocking not one of them, clearly.
Maybe in middle school. Unfortunately, not at the college level. But yeah, watch this serve, guys. It's going down at the last second. You see TCU getting in trouble there.
Kennedy Martin trying to put pressure on this defense. TCU flying around. And Hendricks, what an angle from the 5'9" sophomore for the kill.
That was a big play for Evan Hendricks. He had to get out of that rotation and get away from Kennedy Martin's serve. Kennedy Martin has that hybrid serve, so as much as on a topspin you could take a step up and just kind of dig it, coming from that 6'6" Kennedy Martin, you can't, because it does, like Michelle was saying, drop at the last second, which is crucial. If you can't get a first ball side out, then you have to win that rally.
Too strong on the serve. Penn State will take the point and try to go on a run as they are trailing. They've yet to go on a big run in this match. Ava Falduto had a team high 27 dig yesterday versus ASU with the service line. And that was in system again. Pass on point.
That's big, big time for TCU. First ball side out is huge. You got Ava Falduto, who has a fabulous serve for Penn State. TCU able to stop any momentum that Penn State was getting going.
Service error by Hendricks. Well, TCU has 2 players with double-digit kills. Hendricks has 10, Kelly with 10. For Penn State, Martin has 14. Nobody else has more than 4 kills for the Nittany Lions. Kennedy Martin she's got to have some help in other areas. So Lexi Jin, the 5'6" freshman DS on to serve, and that one sails on her for the service error. So Murphy tied up at 18. Block set, but Toole that trails out of bounds, and so Selman will take the kill. See her urging her team on. She has been intense here in set 3. That got a touch. Looked like it might be going out of bounds, but Falduto couldn't get back in time, and so the touch gives the kill to TCU, and we are tied again as Jalen Gibson has come out of the locker room. You can see the emotion on her face. And I think that the words from Jason Williams are exactly what your team needs. You can be shocked and unsettled when your leader goes down, and he's saying, hey, we got this, do it for her. Play hard for her. You can't help her right now, but you can dedicate a win to her if you can continue to play at a high level.
And maintain that composure. Now for TCU, they've doubled their service errors this set. They came into set 3 with 4 service errors across the first 2 sets, and now 4 service errors in set 3 alone.
Kelly. Too much on it. Tied up at 20. You know, Michelle talked about getting the middles involved for Penn State. Only 11 attempts combined for Penn State middles so far in this match. Good up from Selman. And going down is Gabrielle Nichols, the freshman middle blocker out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, coming on to make a play.
Doesn't have to be a 10-foot bounce. It just has to go down to get points.
Well, they needed some production from the middle, and they got it from Nichols. Kelly looking for the answer. Nice diving stab to keep it alive from Stark. Kelly gets it shoved right back. The roof set up. And that's about as fired up as I've seen Kennedy Martin. She's had some monster
off of that block, screaming, firing her team up in these final 5 points of the match.
Kelly blocked it to touch. Out to Jaravicius, and the heavy swing is good for a kill, and Penn State with a 3-point lead.
I think you said this at the start of set 3. You said Penn State coming out with a sense of urgency, knowing that this could be a sweep if they didn't get things going, particularly on this first touch. They've eliminated service errors, and they've served a lot more purposefully in set 3.
Putting service pressure on there, and TCU cannot get it going on that point. 1 point away from their first set victory of the day. Selman puts it in play. Tough passing. Ooh, Becca Kelly, watch out. She launched herself into the referee ladder, and that will do it for set number 3. Penn State now nice pass in system. And Penn State starts quickly. Michelle?
Yeah, guys, a very animated huddle on the side of TCU. Alexis Robertson, the junior middle blocker, leading the way, saying, don't look to somebody else to get the job done. Everybody do their role a little bit better. Then it was Becca Kelly that weighed in. She said, we're going up against the defending national champions. Let's play like it. All out, every single point. And there she's trying to put her money where her mouth is.
Here's Selman. Good swing, but tracked down. Great hustle play by the Horned Frog defense. But it doesn't matter as Penn State comes through with a big swing. Kennedy Martin. She's got some swings that are just dominant.
I mean, what a defensive effort from TCU. Evan Hendricks, what an athlete. Doing it both offensively and defensively, but Penn State, Izzy Stark getting the last laugh. Great set distribution decision from the setter.
Good timing on the block from Penn State. They send it back, and then the hitting error. Penn State puts 3 straight points on the board to start set 4.
Penn State came back in set 3 because they were better back at the service line. Their efficient serving held TCU's offensive hitting percentage as a team under 200, where in set 1 and set 2 they were hitting 220.
They trailed 2 sets to 1. They're trying to climb out of a big hole in the reverse sweep. Murphy, great dig. The stab by Falduto keeps it alive. Out of the back, Hendricks. Another great save almost. Penn State flying around, but the pressure applied by TCU is too much.
Penn State came back from that timeout, though, locked in. Every player on the court, you could see it in their eyes. They were fired up and focused. I mean, look at this effort by Emmy Selman. Wow, she's getting it. That is, this sounds ridiculous, but that is so inspiring and infectious to everybody else on the court. That helps control the pace of these matches.
Well, I couldn't agree more. It is infectious. Look at that. Another stab. But what a play. Smack in the line for Evan Hendricks. She's up to 12 kills.
It is crazy to see this in person. Evan Hendricks, 5'9", and she is so physical up at the net. She is controlling the pace of this game.
So after the timeout, 2 points in a row for the Horned Frogs. Martin, dug by Hendricks. Now they go to her. Put up by Falduto, and it ends in a Penn State kill. Going to the middle, and Nichols coming through.
That's the Penn State we know and love. Dig to kill ratio is positive. Incorporating the middles off of a hard attacked ball from TCU. Great dig from Ava Falduto back in middle back.
Real Nichols, one of the young puppies for Penn State, just a freshman. Been a couple of Lions making their debut today. What a smackdown on that one. All kinds of velo from Kennedy Martin. Michelle?
Well, there Penn State sees the payoff of getting your middles involved. Credit to Nichols, because there was a split block situation there for Kennedy Martin to rip through. She had line as an option, she had through the block as an option, and also cross court, guys.
Now TCU takes the serve. It looked like it was going to be out, but it doesn't matter. They're aggressive, and it pays off. Hendricks puts it down.
I love this. A lot of work from number 8, like Michelle was just talking about. Penn State a little bit off on the timing. Evan Hendricks sees that, takes advantage of it, and then Gabrielle Nichols getting that last-minute touch actually helps TCU.
Riley Weigelt, the senior, on to serve. It's a point for Penn State. So the momentum has definitely turned towards the Penn State Nittany Lions. Defending national champs trailed 0-2, won set 3, and now have the 4-point advantage in set 4. And missing that one, the hitting error. They were very few and far between for TCU in the first 2 sets. But you look up at the hitting numbers now, and all of a sudden, Penn State is hitting better than TCU, 233 to 229. They go to the middle, and Robertson. Now Martin, just too much power.
Okay, this play was ridiculous. Izzy Stark plays some defense. Okay, and then Jordan Hopp taking it with her hands, setting up Kennedy Martin. Now that is a capital out-of-system out-of-system execution for Penn State. You hate to follow it up with a missed serve, because that was a fantastic play from the Nittany Lions.
It was a run stopper as they had reeled off 3 points in a row, and this crowd here going nuts. It's about a 2.5-hour drive to Penn State's campus from here in Pittsburgh. And a lot of fans making the drive and showing up to support their defending national champion Nittany Lions. Oh, that was great timing. Pretty set by Stark, and the connection to Jaravicius was top-notch.
You know, I was just checking the stat line. Caroline Jaravicius did not play in set 2. She came out. I don't think it was anything wrong. I think Katie Schumacher Colley just didn't like her play, but she was staying warm in set 3, checked back into the match. Didn't really have a lot of production in set 3, but again, she is that infectious leader, just the redshirt sophomore, proving to come into the game and change, again, the vibes or the momentum for the Penn State squad.
Another hitting error by the Horned Frogs, and it is a 7-point lead, the largest for Penn State. Martin, we've seen her power that time, put power on that serve, and it's well long. Penn State hitting 667 in this match, and TCU in the negatives. The overpass, can TCU take advantage? Kelly lets it rip, kind of a curveball out towards the sideline, and it hits.
But this is some strategy from TCU. Obviously, Jalen Gibson not on that right side, so they're keeping number 20 in white, Ella Foti, out there. When she took that first ball, I was a little confused because she's setting when she's back row. But again, she was a dynamic attacker at Marquette for the last 4 seasons.
Out of the back, Martin lets it rip, net violation. And so Penn State now doubling up TCU here in set 4. TCU looking a little confused, saying who was there. Don't know who was it that got caught up in the net. Kelly, sharp angle but wide. And you can just feel the tension for TCU trying for an upset here against Penn State. Still leading 2-1. Tip. Taken out by Selman. Back to Kelly. Grimes in there to dig it. Now Hendricks with a good up. And that the sails on the bump set attempt by Volpe. Let's send it over to Michelle.
Yeah, Ava Faldudo doing a really nice job right now for Penn State, exploiting that soft zone 4, zone 5 position where Becca Kelly is currently standing, trying to work that seam. Very difficult for front row attackers to also manage the pass load. You see the libero taking it there, but Becca Kelly in a better spot. But Ava Faldudo is really seeing the court nicely from the service line here.
Kelly had too much on that one. TCU Lookason, the outstanding senior for the Horned Frogs, went down. And since then, the tide has turned toward Penn State. And the service line was so friendly to TCU. They have 11 aces to just 3 for Penn State, but now 10 service errors to go along with it.
They came into set 3 with just 4 service errors, so a lot of those coming. You got to control your side of the net if you want to find success.
Addie Lyon on to serve for Penn State. And it's TCU getting the side out. So TCU does run a 6-2. It is unique for Penn State. How much do you think that they've just adjusted to seeing that and what it presents?
We'll see in set 1, and you saw this against Pitt yesterday. Penn State and Pitt yesterday were confused. They were trying to figure it all out because as players, you're tracking defensively, you're tracking where the setter is, who she's hitting. You're trying to allow your scouting report to register.
Good up. It was Fody diving down. On to set right now. There she is again. Known as an excellent defender, and on that play had a couple of them, but it doesn't matter as Penn State gets another big rip from Gabrielle Nichols. Won silver with the U19 USA team this summer, and
great discipline from Nichols. A lot of patience up at the net defensively.
Tracking that one down is Grimes. On the line. Grimes was all the way up there, and a nice play by TCU to stop momentum for now. Now you have seen Katie Schumacher-Cawley go to her bench and look to some freshmen for some energy. Nichols has provided it. Ewing had a pretty good kill. Is right. I'll let you take that one. I love it.
Kill. Okay, Jillian Grimes. Her reaction was awesome. Great serve from Becca Kelly. Great one-handed set from Izzy Stark to Jillian Grimes. Look at her flexing on him. That's awesome.
You don't get to see a libero kill very often. Maybe once or twice a season if they're lucky. So Grimes doing all that hustling. It's like, give me the ball.
And that's why Ava Faldudo is a great passer. She is so scrappy on defense. She's not even scrappy. She's so sound on defense, but that's why Jillian Grimes has the nod in the libero jersey. She's got the senior leadership. She also just brings the energy. I mean, look at, she's such a firecracker. Anytime Penn State gets a point, she's jumping, she's screaming, she's chest bumping, girls. That is exactly what you need to be to be an elite Division I libero.
The net violation gives Penn State a 10-point lead. They're knocking on the door of 20 points. It won't come on this point, though. Is a good swing from Murphy.
I really like how consistent Lauren Murphy is. She just does her job. She reads blocks well, and she's got that big, broad frame that allows her to be physical up at the net defensively. I'd like to see her get incorporated a little bit more offensively, though, in these final points.
Tara Vicious looking for the line. Doesn't get it, though. Tara Vicious, part of the Big Ten all-freshman team last season, member of the national championship team. Played the right side last year, moving over to the left. Service error. Samara Coleman going big. Nichols getting a lot of high fives for the energy she brought off the bench. Not heard of her dad, Demetrius Nichols. He played 2 seasons in the NBA with the Cavs, the Bulls, and the Knicks. Vicious, oh, the big block. Robertson there combining with Murphy for the roof.
6'4" for the right side pin, 6'3" for that middle blocker. Creates an absolute wall for Jurevicius. Again, that height is nothing without disciplined footwork and being in sync as far as timing goes when you're going up.
Martin looking to swipe it off the block. Instead, it goes out of bounds. So a little mini run here by TCU to pull within 7. We'll see if Murphy at the service line can keep this run going for the Horned Frogs. Vicious underneath it, no touch. Vicious with a couple of hitting errors in a row. And now she's back in the negatives. At that outside hitter spot, 6 kills, 7 errors. And that's not an error. And that is a lock and load. Kennedy Martin, 19 kills for the 2-time All-American.
Great decision from Izzy Stark. Hey, we got to get out of this rotation. The passing's getting a little shaky. Send it to your go-to who you know can execute.
Stopping the run, now Martin at the service line with an ace. The 4th ace of the match for Penn State. They've been dominated in that category, especially through the first 2 sets, but things have evened out.
She's had 40 swings today so far offensively, and she's still able to go up to the service line and be consistent.
Oh, pretty block, timed it well on the tip. Now Martin with the dig, but couldn't get under it enough. So TCU stays alive. Have to crawl out of a big hole to close this out, leading 2 sets to 1, or we will go to the 5th and deciding set here in Pittsburgh. Vicious. One or two of the block, but good coverage. Penn State with a chance. Just punched over the top of the block by Martin. Now Kelly just can't catch up to that one. Out of her reach. Rosemary Archer, the setter, onto the floor. She is rotated with Ella Foti. They're both on the floor right now. Foti gets the kill attempt. Oh, and that is smackdown. Going line is Selman.
Watch Izzy Stark. She has Alexis Robertson bite with her, so she sends it out to Emmy Selman. She's got a one-on-one matchup. That is Izzy Stark's point. Fabulous setting.
Good serve, just clipping the line. Oh, nasty out of the middle. That connection rock solid for Alexis Robertson. So now Sarah Sylvester in to take over the middle spot. Oh, that one was tough. A little bit out of the range. That set trailed on Selman.
That's what's kind of convenient for TCU. Ella Foti not setting when she's front row. She's just staying in as an attacker and a defender. Again, she was physical at Marquette, defensively up at the net and offensively.
Well, it is work. So TCU refusing to go quietly here in set 4 rather.
Again, Ella Foti is touching the ball in every single one of these plays. I love how she's just taking over in these final points.
Set point number 4. No touch. It's a 4-0 scoring run. It's set point number 5. And they go to Martin, and she says goodnight to set 4. We are going to the 5th and decide the court.
And remember, Anna, it was Juravicious that closed it out against Kansas as well last weekend.
So we are underway in set 5. Defending national champs have battled back down 0-2 to send it to a 5th. They're looking for the reverse sweep, and the hitting error by Selman starts us off.
And as much as we're talking big about Penn State, they are not the underdogs coming into 5th sets, but TCU has to get back to that first set, second set mentality, and it starts back at the service line.
Start tracks that down, gets it to the middle, and the net violation. 2-0 the start for TCU. Everything magnified to 15.
I'm a little angry that was a net violation for Alice Volpe because that was an awesome dig had that counted.
Martin, the big swing is put back. The big block set up by the Horned Frogs.
Sarah Sylvester, number 4 in the middle. Look at her eyes. She tracks 18 in blue Kennedy Martin extremely well. The 6'3" middle shutting down the 6'6" Martin.
Well, the momentum shifting over to TCU. Good up by Hendricks. Just long. Good decision not to take that ball.
That out of system to Becca Kelly, no matter who it's coming from, it's just not connecting, and you need your out of system plays to your go-to outside to connect if you want to find success in 5th sets especially.
Tight to the net. We'll get it to Hendricks. Push back. Out of the back, it's Hendricks, and a good up. That's Izzy Stark. Grimes flying in to keep it alive. Now Martin. Good play at the net. Long rally. Kelly rips it, but dug by Grimes. Juravicious tools the block. She had a big swing late in set 4 and a big swing here in set 5.
I love that she's back out on that court. Despite the stats not reflecting well, she is that big-time player in big moments. Look at how she's firing everybody up. That's half the battle in this sport when you get into 5th sets.
2 points in a row now for Penn State, but it stopped. Kelly right through the block with some authority.
Do you know how good that felt for Rosemary Archer? They have not been connecting the last couple of times that she's been set. Just something has been off, and they looked at each other and said, yes, we finally got it. You saw Becca Kelly rip off 2 kind of out-of-system weird balls. Fabulous job by TCU.
Jalen Gibson went down with a leg injury. That was in set 3 with TCU leading 8-6. You can see the emotion. And that ball hits the antenna on the side of Penn State. TCU a third of the way to a big-time upset against 5th-ranked Penn State.
Ella Foti back to serve, though. She has stepped in very nicely for Jalen Gibson. Props to Jason Williams for getting her in the transfer portal.
Martin, a heavy ball, but dug up. Juravicious. Block gets a touch. Foti, the back set. Murphy. Juravicious goes again, and it's sent back. Juravicious going tip, and it's blocked, and it hits the deck. A 6-2 advantage advantage in the 5th and deciding set.
Lauren Murphy using that 6'4" frame again and again. Look at Jalen Gibson. She's getting up. She's cheering on her team despite that is a leader.
You suffer an injury and you can't return to the game. Boy, nothing feels better if your team can get a win for you. And TCU looking for a signature win. Out of the middle and down. Once again, it's the youngster coming up big, Gabrielle Nichols.
Gabrielle Nichols hitting an undefendable ball. Nobody is supposed to get this. Defensively, you say, okay, hit it again, I dare you.
Ticking the tape. Interference, Penn State did not allow TCU. Reaching over early, and it's a 7-3 lead. Becca Kelly, the 6'3" redshirt sophomore, transferred in from Oregon. Big block set up. Great hustle play by Stark. Keeping that one up. Out of the middle. No stopping that. In 4 to Arizona State. He lost just 2 matches all last season. And a kill out of the timeout. 8-4 now. Michelle?
Yeah, Elise, losing that point there for TCU, but right now taking control of the serve and pass game, and they're able to run their middles early. Sarah Sylvester being a key there, so watch how that impacts the Penn State blocks when it comes to running the TCU pins and opening up that situation for Hendricks and Kelly on the outsides.
Service error. They're going for it, and it's a TCU point and a 5-point lead. And a 5-point lead in the 5th set is almost like a 10-point lead in sets 1 through 4.
Remember, in the 5th set, we only play to 15. It's still win by 2, so 5 points is a big deficit.
Samara Coleman, true freshman out of Spring, Texas. A good-looking serve, handled by Penn State, but the block set. Hendricks and Robertson pushing over.
Because the game isn't necessarily fully there for them, and Jillian Grimes really being an emotional leader in that category. So we'll see how Penn State responds here, trying to put pressure on TCU, trying to get those 3 points back in the error category, guys.
That's exactly the libero's job in a 5th set, though, because 5th sets are all about emotions. They're all about vibes.
Tip. Grimes gets it up. Jaravicius is blocked. And it trails to the deck. TCU with a 7-point lead in set 5. They won the first 2 sets. Penn State crawled out of a hole to send it to 5.
Look at the discipline from Lauren Murphy.
Murphy and Robertson there combining for the 11th block of the match. Now Robertson up to 6 to lead all Horned Frogs. The service error by Coleman stops the bleeding for now for Penn State.
Despite the service errors, I'm really impressed with freshman Samara Coleman checking into the game in an unfortunate situation, and she's been able to contribute, do her job, stay disciplined where she needs to be disciplined.
Penn State has a big hole to try to climb out of. They've got to go on a run. Selman tipping deep. Smart decision, laying out there. And unable to snag it was Jalen Clark, the libero or defensive specialist on for TCU.
Great hustle from the Mira Costa graduate out of Manhattan Beach, California. Jason Williams says she's by far their best passer, so we got to get her on the court somehow, somewhere.
And they're now to try to preserve this lead. Nearly a collision with Volpe. They get it up, and Hendricks takes a big hack. Tracked down by the Nittany Lions, though. Good hustle play. TCU with another crack at it. Hendricks' block is there. All the way over to Selman, who crushes. Balduto back to serve. Stark handles the tip. Selman with a big rip. And the touch call coming late. Some tension as the Nittany Lions were looking around saying there was a touch. It's 4 points in a row.
That is a great ball from Emmy Selman. Just finds the tiniest hole and takes advantage of an undisciplined block.
Good service pressure, and Penn State with the free ball. On two, dug up. Another chance here. Selman goes soft and over the block.
Yeah, TCU with a little bit of panic. On serve receive, they're taking balls that might have gone out. Everybody's just scrambling a little bit. Got to take a deep breath, calm down.
A 5-0 scoring run for Penn State. They're within 2. Out of the middle, dug up by Grimes. Well done. Oh, wow. Izzy Stark just trying to push it over. It clips the top of the net and comes back. The break that TCU was looking for, the run stopper, and they now are 3 points away from victory. Selman, wide, no touch. The hitting.
Free ball over, that's her playing smart. She doesn't need to do that. She is that player that can play risky because she can execute.
Out of the back, Martin. Oh, heavy ball. Much needed out of the timeout.
That's all Izzy Stark. Great tempo connection with Martin. She says, hey, we need points. We need to get out of this. We need to side out. First ball side out with the 6'6" Kennedy Martin.
Still in a deep hole, down 3, first to 15 here in set 5. Addie Lyon at the service line, and the error. And TCU now match point number 1. Jason Williams and the Horned Frogs looking for the upset over the defending national champs. Jalen Gibson, the senior, unable to continue. And the service error gives it right back. Penn State still alive. Now Izzy Stark, the outstanding sophomore setter. Trying to tip it over, and Nichols there to send it right back. Match point number 3. Can the Nittany Lions go on a run here with Stark at the service line? And it's a service error, and TCU wins it. They get the upset over 5th-ranked Penn State, the defending national champs, but it's TCU's day today.
An emotion.